In this tutorial, I will talk about the pipeline concept and show the mechanisms they use in VirtualMetric DataStream. A pipeline, in its simplest form, is a chain of processors that run sequentially, operating on the incoming data streamed from sources and directing them to destinations for consumption. The pipeline processes the data to ensure consistency and quality, using various stages that normalize the data to standard formats, parse unstructured data into structured fields, validate the data points to ensure quality and completeness, and enrich it with additional context and metadata. Now let's have a closer look at the pipeline section in VirtualMetric's DataStream. In the pipeline section on the home page, you can access the pipelines or see what templates are available via the Content Hub. When I click the link, an overview page is shown with the available pipeline templates. Let's have a look at the template Fortinet FortiGate pack for Microsoft Sentinel as an example. When I click the tile, the overview page for this pipeline template opens. It shows some general information, like the name and the description. At the right side, you can see which processors are used in this pipeline, like add, drop, compact, and enforce schema. There are more than 160 processors available in VirtualMetric DataStream, for example, GeoIP, Regex filter, Grok, KV, and many more. The second tab shows the details of the pipeline. Let's have a closer look. Here we see multiple child pipelines under the root pipeline, including one called the MS Fortinet drop. Two examples in here where the complete log line is dropped are when the source and destination country has value reserved, or all internal traffic to IPv6 addresses. Or an example of the compact processor and fields have the value of 0 undefined or 00, those fields are removed. This is a perfect example of how VirtualMetric DataStream reduces the noise and only processing the relevant data. Of course, it is completely up to you whether you want to use these processors or not. As you can see, the drop processors have the setting disabled as true. At the third tab, we see the log transformation overview. Left shows the raw data, right the transformed data. The fourth tab shows the license details. Now, let's assume we want to use this pipeline. At the upper right corner, I will click Install this pipeline template. The pipeline template has now been added to my pipelines. So you can look at the Content Hub section as a kind of bookshelf, and the pipeline section, the books you actually took out and are laying on the table to be read. Now let's move to the installed pipeline overview. Here we see all installed pipelines. As you might notice, some of them have been marked with in use or a refresh button or both. The refresh button indicates that there have been changes applied to the pipeline by the VirtualMetric development team. Of course, it is completely up to you whether you want to accept the changes or not. As an example, let's select the Microsoft Sentinel Vendor Automation Pack to review the changes. I will click the Review Update button at the upper right corner. In the MS Vendor Syslog Auto Discovery Native Child Pipeline, we can see that the change that has been made at the bottom. It appears a new vendor has been added to it. In this case, it's from the Chinese vendor Hillstone Next-Gen Firewall. I'll click the Accept Changes button to update my existing pipeline. In the menu at the upper right corner, you have several options, of which one of them is Open Pipeline Debugger. This will help you to debug issues in the pipeline or check to see if changes that have made yourself are working correctly. I will cover the Pipeline Debugger in another tutorial. That's it for now. I hope you got a clear overview of the concepts of the Content Hub and pipelines in VirtualMetric DataStream. Thank you for watching this tutorial and have a great day.